Hey, assalamu alaikum everyone. So I was watching this guy on YouTube the other day, and he was saying how it's not like that he likes reading, but he likes to have read. Meaning that the process of reading for him is something that he finds boring and not that much enjoyment from, but he likes to have been somebody that has read a lot of books. Now, when I saw this video, it actually dawned on me that reading for some people, for a lot of people, is actually something quite boring. People are conditioned to read in a certain way, and they find that while they want to read more, or they want to be people who are readers, they never find the time or even the enjoyment of doing so. So in this video, I want to talk to you guys about how to enjoy reading, how to have more fun while reading books, which will inherently allow you to read more books. Now, these tips are going to come from a statement by Abdullah Ibn Masood, a companion of the Prophet ﷺ, and how he advised people to read Quran, some tips that he gave. Now, while his statement more so was towards the Quran, like reading the Quran more, I still find that his tips can be used in other texts, fiction, non-fiction, Islamic books, non-Islamic books. So let's analyze the statement together so we can read more books and enjoy what we're reading. Prior to going into the statement of Abdullah bin Masood, let's talk about what types of books you guys should be reading. Obviously, there are the books that you have to read, and there are the books that you don't have to read. I mostly want to talk about reading books on the side, reading books as a hobby, creating a habit of reading books outside of the requirements that are prescribed on you. So the first step I want to talk about before getting into the statement of Abdullah ibn Masood is read the books that you want to read. I see so many people try to read, these great classics, Moby Dick, Les Miserables, Tale of Two Cities, like these old books that are frankly long and can be kind of boring. Even on like the Islamic side, people, tend to go for the classics, tend to go for the big books that they feel they should have to read, man. They go like, I don't read any books, but I'm going to start reading Bukhari. I'm going to start reading Tafsir ibn Kathir. Do you know how long those books are? Tafsir ibn Kathir is like a 10-volume book in English. Sahih Bukhari is like 10 volumes. It's a super long series of books. Don't be forced to read something that you feel like you have to read. If you're not a reader, read something that you find an interest in reading. This desire to read is also dependent on you. Obviously, for me, for instance, I'm studying Islam. So a lot of my books are going to be tailored towards Islam, towards theology. And I also study, political science and theology in my college. So a lot of my readings were tailored and are tailored towards those interests of mine. Other people might be interested in science. Read a book on science that you enjoy. Whatever it is, just focus on reading a book that you enjoy in a series that you enjoy. So now let's look at the tips given by Abdullah bin Masood. The first tip that was given by him is do not scatter the reading of the Quran as if it were dates falling from a tree. Now, what does this mean? Essentially, what he's saying is don't divide up your reading, whatever it is you're reading, the Quran or any other book, throughout long distances. Don't go, okay, today I'm going to read 100 pages, and then, you eventually leave it, and then like 3, 4, 5, 6 months later, you're like, I'll pick up reading again. You drop it, and then like a year later, you continue reading it. Dates take 4 to 8 years to get ready, to be ready to fall out, and to be plucked out. And that's what he's saying is like, don't do it like a date coming from a tree. It takes a long time. What you guys should be doing, in reverse to what he's saying, is focus on reading something small every single day. There's a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that the best deeds are those that are done continuously, even if they were small. So try reading every day, just little by little. Even if it's a page or less than a page, whatever it is, try focusing on reading something small every single day. If you focus and have these small goals in mind, you will eventually one day finish that book that you never finished. And I see that a lot of people, the issue they have with reading is they think it's something that they need to finish right now. And I think that's just kind of our culture nowadays. A lot of people are used to watching movies where movies are 2 hours and you finish the movie. Or a TV show episode's like 40, 50 minutes. Okay, I finished. I did something. Or watching a YouTube video, the YouTube Shorts, TikTok. Those are short and you feel like you accomplished something within those 60 seconds. While reading, if you have 600 pages and you only read 1 a day or 2 a day or whatever it is, you feel like you didn't accomplish much. However, you have to think about it this way. You have to think about it in 2 ways. One, if you were to read 1 page every single day, is that not more than the 0 you read the day before? You get what I'm saying? It's an improvement. Don't look at the end goal. Think about the tiny achievements you do every single day that will eventually build up. And two, think about the long-term goal. If you want to finish a book, you don't have to finish it today, but think about the goal of one day I will finish this book. One day I will be able to complete this book that I want. Now, adding to this, there are two other tips on this section I want to give you guys, and that is set a time in the day where you read and find a place where you read. For instance, I usually read before sleeping. However, throughout the day, I have a time set for myself, usually in the morning, where I try catching up on some reading. Maybe like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, where I just read a little bit. But my room where I read is not my bedroom. Because I know if I read in my bedroom, I'll get lazy and go on my phone. So I go to a table. For instance, my thing is the dining table in the morning when nobody's around. And I start reading there. I open my book and read on the table. That for me is the best place to read. Other people may find enjoyment in reading other places. I say find a place where you read every single day. Because once you set up that daily habit of this is my location to reading, it will come a time that when you walk across it in your house or you see it there, you'll be inclined to read. And once you're there, you're less likely to go on your phone or do other activities because you came there for reading. It's a difference of studying in your bed and studying at a library. You're most likely going to do more work studying at a library than in your bed. Same thing with reading. If you're going to read at a specific place at your house every single day for 10 minutes, you'll most likely get more accomplished than if you were just read at bed because whatever, you're already there. So the next tip that Abdullah Ibn Masood gives is not to read it like poetry, not to read the book that you're reading like it is poetry, i.e. really fast and just getting it out of the way. Poetry is generally designed to be short, to the point, and you read it quick and it rhymes and then you're done with it. But a book is not like that. A book is long. And you shouldn't try to finish a book as quickly as possible. And this is the one issue I find a lot of videos on YouTube is many YouTubers who give advice on how to read, their advice is how to read as many books as possible. And I see so many clickbait titles of, I read 400 books this year, I read 1,000 books this year, I read this, I read that. And when you look at their videos, a lot of the times it's, well, how to read faster, how to improve your reading speed. And I'm not opposed to reading faster or trying to improve your reading speed. However, the point of reading a book is not to gain a numbers. Books are not numbers. The whole point of reading a book is for you to gain something beneficial from it, whether that's entertainment or information, knowledge, whatever it is. And the point of it is that you read it, you understand it, you implement it, and you don't forget it. That's the point of reading, in my opinion. And so this whole thing of trying to read as quickly as possible, trying to get as many books in the year, for me, it's like, forget about that. Focus on reading slowly. Focus on reading and understanding what you're reading, and focus on enjoying the text. Put yourself in the text. Enjoy what you're reading. Don't focus on other people. Don't look at other people, how many books they read in the year, but focus on how much information, how much enjoyment you gained from that time period of reading or the year that you read those books. That's the most important thing. The information you gained, the knowledge you gained, and the entertainment you gained, not the numbers that you can put and tell your friends, I read 50 books this month. That's not that important. Adding to this, Abdullah Ibn Masood says, stop at its verses that move your heart. I.e., when you read something that affects you, maybe intellectually it makes you think much, or maybe it hits you in the heart and makes you emotional, stop at it and contemplate. You know, when you have those 10 minutes of reading a day or whatever the time period, 30 minutes, that you set up in a day for reading, it's not about just reading. Set up those time limits, not in the purpose of I'm going to read as much as I can, but in the purpose of I want to gain as much as I can from this reading that I'm going to do in this 30 minutes. If in those 30 minutes, all you do is read 2 pages, but you reflect a lot and you look up stuff online, what does this mean? Or you flip through the book trying to look for other stuff, some other clues, or maybe it was just so insightful that you want to write something down. That's more important than reading 30 pages in 30 minutes and not gaining anything. What I suggest and what I do sometimes is I'll have a notebook by my side. And when I read something that's very interesting, I write it down. I put it on my phone, or I have my laptop by there, and I take notes on, Evernote, OneNote, or whatever app that I have on there. And I keep it there, so when I come back and check on it later, I'll go like, hey, this was actually very interesting. Also, writing notes and or typing stuff down on a notebook or whatever it is very beneficial, because sometimes you're not going to go over a 600-page book again. Find that one piece of information, because sometimes maybe you lost the book or you just don't know where it is anymore. But if that piece of information that hit you or that emotional beat really affected you and you wrote it down, you'll be able to just look at it in a notebook or on your laptop, and it'll be so easy to access it where it's not annoying to go back and look for a book. And try reflecting on it. If it's an intellectual book, try focusing on it, try reflecting it, try coming up with new ideas, and this will make reading more enjoyable. And the last tip that he gives is don't concern yourself with looking at the end of the book or the chapter or the page or whatever. And I see this with a lot of people. A lot of people flip through a book, they're reading a book, and then they go like, okay, how many pages do I have left? Oh, I have 15 pages. Well, that's a lot. I'm just going to leave it right now. Oh, I have 20 pages. Oh my God, how long is this chapter? Forget about that. Be in the moment. If you're watching, if somebody's watching an enjoyable movie and they're like, well, how many more minutes does this movie have? It kind of defeats the purpose of that. Somebody's with a friend and they're enjoying their time or whatever. They're not going to go like, well, how long does my friend want to stay here for? Like, no, you're enjoying the time with your friend. You don't think about that. You think about how much fun you're having at that event, how much fun you're having with your friend. Same thing with reading. Don't read something and just look, okay, how many more pages do I have? Focus on the here and now. Focus on what you're reading. You don't have to finish a chapter a day. Focus on just that. Focus on, okay, what am I reading? The here and now. What information can I gain? What can I write down? That will be more beneficial for you than just trying to finish the chapter, looking, okay, how many more pages do I have? I have 20 pages. Oh, this chapter is 40 pages. I'm not going to read it anymore. Then you just lose the purpose of reading it. Enjoy your time reading. That's it, guys. And I think a basic summary of Abdullah Ibn Masood's statement is, don't focus on reading so much or so quickly, but focus on enjoying your time reading. And I think school conditioned us to not enjoy reading. I think school always conditioned us as in, hey, tomorrow read 20 pages, after 3 days you'll have a pop quiz, after this, whatever. And people were so focused on just completing the work that when it comes to reading outside of school, they don't have that enjoyment. They just want to finish it like they did in school. But reading, it should be like any other thing, an event, a time when you just sit down, you have fun reading it. Overall, guys, the main takeaway is find books that you like, set up a place where you read, a timer every single day, do it consistently, and enjoy the time that you're reading. Have a fun time while you're reading, or an intellectual time while reading. So that's it, guys. I hope this statement by Abdullah Ibn Masood, which I put down below in the description, really helped. And I really hope I hope that we can try reading more, because I think reading is super important. There are many videos on YouTube talking about the benefits of reading and how reading makes you smarter and so on. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Assalamu alaikum.